All right. So, welcome to the G4 podcast. This is episode 5 of our podcast. I'm here today with Epic
Hey yo.
and Chris
Hey.
and Ryan.
Hello.
So, today we have a couple different topics, some small topics, and just some of the other major, larger topics as well. So we're gonna cover. So for a small topic, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about how I got a 9070 XT, which I'll get into. A small topic. It will go from that one. It will transition into about Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and 7, where Call of Duty is. And then we will also talk a little bit about Marathon being delayed. Actually, that one's going to be a major topic. So it's going to be not a little bit, but we're going to talk about how Marathon's getting delayed and just kind of where Bungie is at. We're not going to go way into detail about like the kind of transgressions that Marathon's had with like the art stuff, because everyone knows about that. But we will go more into detail about just kind of generally what they can do. And then we'll have a major topic about Microsoft shutting down a bunch of studios. That's been in the news for quite a while now, but we still can kind of go through each of the different studios that we feel differently about and what how that will affect different things, as well as like it'll be mostly about like the different games, like how some game studios got shut down or bought out, and then like Halo and then Doom. We'll touch on base on those. I also have an article from my friend Zach Rex. He has an article which I will also read as a part of that. And then there'll be a small topic where I'll just touch base on how I've talked about the crew before, how the Ubisoft pulled the plug on it, and there's actually a real movement, which is now pretty big in the news. We're just gonna focus mostly on just the companies that are involved and the crew in this topic, the Stop Killing Games movement. We only really care about what's gonna happen to just our games after anything gets moved around from that. Again, it's not something where we're gonna like look at the whole like timeline. That's not relevant to us. What's relevant to us is the future. What's gonna happen next. So anyway, so I'm gonna start off with the first topic. So this is kind of funny because I went to a Call of Duty tournament with my friend Alex, also known as Zero, and I wasn't participating. I was just watching. Right, we're all watching the tournament. Him and also my friend, our friend Curtis. And when we went there, we expected to just cheer for our home team. Unfortunately, they kind of got like eliminated immediately. They didn't do very well, but it is what it is. That's sports for you. But while there, I was able to contact someone from AMD. We had a really nice conversation about how I use AMD stuff to work on my Minecraft city and things like that, and how it's like I've built a full AMD computer, and I mostly have a lot of different products that use their processors, and I also see them as kind of like the underdog when it comes to computer industry, and I also respect like the moves that they make for that. And then of course like about my Minecraft stuff, because there's literally over like I could talk about my Minecraft city for days if I had to. But anyway, the more important thing is I was able to show him the city, and then he basically was impressed by it to the point where I had a little what I would say like a interview with him, and then after that interview, they were so impressed by how that interview went that they brought me down for like a special gift, and that's when I opened it up, and it was a 9070 XT, which is still like stunning that they gave out such an amazing card to me. I'm really happy about it, and honestly, like I've been using it for a while. My experience with the 9070 XT is it is so like honestly, when you go online and you try to look at reviews of things, well, first of all, I used to say don't use user benchmark. User benchmark still probably like scale is a bit tipped, but don't use GPU benchmark either, like the passbar software, because it doesn't accurately relay how games are doing for different cards like that are like newer games. And the accuracy is off for some reason, and I'm not sure exactly why. But and the reason why I can prove it is because I have a 4070, like I had one in there, and the 4070 was running way worse than the 9070 XT is doing right now. And yeah, it was like a night and day difference when I swapped out the card. I also ended up getting a new power supply to do it and everything. But yeah, my experience with the 9070 XT is the drivers have been amazing. The performance has been amazing. Like literally everything. Like even me switching to my TV, which I normally do when I want to, play games on the TV. Like that's something that I had problems with the 4070. It would just like break every time. I'd have to restart my computer. The drivers just kept breaking. I had updated the drivers. I did display driver install. I did everything, and it was still a problem. But yeah, like again, your mileage may vary, but my understanding so far like is AMD with the 9070 XT has been on top of their game. The drivers have been good for me. They've worked, and I haven't had any issues. Plus, as we mentioned in the earlier episodes, Nvidia is still using the high voltage power adapter, which is like it's been an ongoing fire risk, and I've seen like I literally saw the other day someone posted about their high voltage power pin burning out. Like it's such a common occurrence that honestly, like we we just like Nvidia just needs to stop using that. But that's my opinion. Again, I don't want to make this about bashing Nvidia because this is more just I want to shout out AMD for giving out that card to me. I'm so grateful for it. I'm happy to be able to use it and make all the content and work on more Minecraft stuff, work on more renders, and get out more videos. Plus, I got like a new setup and everything for streaming. Of course, this podcast is going to be only in audio, so you won't be able to see my camera. But at some point, I'll be doing some streaming with my camera on for some Minecraft building marathons that I'm going to work on. So that's basically the long story short gist of that. Um, so as for the next small topic we're going into, and this is one thing I will say coming into that Black Ops 6 tournament. So I'm just gonna quickly touch on my Black Ops 6 tournament, and I'll have you guys talk about this. Um, so when I went to that tournament, I definitely got to see how most of the player base feels about the pro scene at the game. They seem to like it a lot. I think the pro scene is doing really well because the movement is really geared towards the pro, like the top players of the game and whatnot. But I feel like the casual player base, like me and probably a lot of people who used to kind of just play the game more casually than anything, are feeling like a little left behind. So like I wish that we would have a little bit more of a easier time just enjoying multiplayer in that game. But you know, again, it's like uh, one of those things that it would cost them, especially if they like removed SBMM or something. Like it would cost them a lot in terms of all the like lower level players who use SBMM to make things work better. Um, but yeah, like my experience in the tournament was that the game seems to be overall okay. Um, in terms of the like the multiplayer scene, it's not my cup of tea entirely. I don't hate it, but I definitely think like it's just kind of meh, like kind of mediocre. But you know what? Like the tournament itself was good vibes though. Like the fact that like when I went there, the people cheered on the teams. The cheering was really loud. It was like it was great. A lot of us since our team Toronto got like eliminated immediately. A lot of us were cheering for Optic Texas, and their team was yeah their team was playing really well. It was like great to see them dominate. They took down the Vancouver Surge team, which they got eliminated. And, like it was crazy to see that final game. But yeah, no, that's pretty much all I can really say about the Black Ops 6 tournament. So I don't know if you guys want to add anything on to AMD Black Ops 6, or you guys want to go to Black Ops 7. Um,
Black Ops 6 is absolutely in a foul state. I'm
yeah,
expecting Black Ops 7 to be the exact same thing.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I do agree that it's not exactly like in a it's in a very stagnated state. Um, I personally like have played it like more recently, and I don't know, like I wanted to get more into it. My buddy Alex really wants to do ranked multiplayer and stuff, but a lot of the other guys don't really want to do that anymore. So it's just kind of like, we're probably not going to go that much further down the line in Black Ops 6. Well, we'll see again. Like I still want to get myself back into Warzone. I still love Warzone. Still think it's my favorite kind of battle royale system, but you know, like again, it's one of those things where like I think most people yeah, most people want to see something new. So Black Ops 7 looks like it's what people are looking forward to.
Personally, like, I'm starting to become in my unk era, as the kids say it, right? I'm getting tired of like competitive shooters.
Yeah, and
I
that's
just want to like
fair.
chill and play video games. Like how
And
we were
yeah,
saying
yeah.
earlier, like there should be employed lobbies.
Yeah, like I said that, yeah, I said that mostly jokingly, but I mean,
Dude,
in some ways, like I wish it was a possibility. Like the people who work 9 to 5 jobs are just like they're gonna have a disadvantage just starting off, like, and, like trying to like stay on the grind for some of these games, because we just don't have that time. And not to mention, like, we were doing overtime and stuff. And yeah, no, there's people who be like, I work a 9 to 5, and I'm like, fucking 3.0 KD. It's like, bro, that like that is just your talent. Like I don't know, man. Like I think in a general sense, like I think it would be nice, but it's one of those things where it's like, like if it happens, it'll be cool. But I'm not going to tell a game company that they need to do this, because it's way too much. Like again, people will misuse it. People will definitely fake, like there are people who don't work jobs. They'll just have government checks, and they'll use that money to fake themselves getting into employed lobbies. That's just inevitable truth that will happen, right? So I think, in a general sense, it's just it again, it's not a thing that could be done without, like, you know without a system that fundamentally can, like, stop people from making any sort of move uh that would go around their terms of service. So
unfortunately, it's also a system. Even if we implement it, it contains like identity.
sorry, could you
Like
repeat the last one?
I said, even if it's a system we could implement, it would be a system that contains like identifying information
Yeah,
about every player.
yeah, and
So
essentially, like, anything that has to do with, like, personal information, things like that, like, it's just it's gonna go down a rabbit hole that's just not gonna be fun to have to deal with. I mean,
I mean, they already implement that in Korea.
yeah, like,
They implement that in Korea with the for league, like you have to give your government ID or whatever.
don't
yeah,
they do that in China too? For like every online game.
yeah, and
Oh,
again, that's
yeah.
like that's gonna be like up to people if they want to vote those things in. Then sure. Um, I just, like, for me, I just don't think it's big enough of a problem that I'm, like, willing to, like, I think there are other ways to cut this tree. Sorry, to cut this tree. Like, I think like the way we're looking at it would like chop down the entire forest, where, maybe we could like do something that's a little bit more surgical, or a little bit more like, reasonable for other parties. But, as of right now, like, do I have that solution in the top of my head? Not really. Like, right now, that solution is like, well, it's gonna cost a little too much for the company if they remove SBMM, but maybe, like, I don't know, like, it's just I can't think of something that directly would resolve parts of the problem right now. But I know that
Guys,
there's,
server browser, please.
I mean, yeah, that would be
Don't,
interesting too. Like,
don't ever add that.
yeah, no, that's not happening. That'd be interesting too, because that's something that I know, like, for TF2 was pretty good, because just go into some random server, and it's a little bit more chill because people are just kind of playing more for fun.
It's funny because internally the COD games do have a browser, just it's never like facing towards the end user.
It's a hidden, it's like a UI. It's not, it doesn't have a UI element or something. Like one where like you could probably like query yourself or join through like a command line or something. I know some games had that, so maybe
I
it's
knew Cold War in Modern Warfare 2019, like if you like launched it in like a weird state, like between like offline and online mode, it would actually pop up the browser.
that's interesting. I didn't actually know that was a
Yeah,
thing.
it does exist.
Okay.
As like a user, like you have to do weird stuff to actually get a tip here. I got a tip here on accident on like a console.
Yeah.
By the way, just saying.
That's good.
I don't hack into video games.
Yeah. Yeah, like for Black Ops 6, you know, it's again, it's gone stale. I don't know what they're gonna do. I think I'm just gonna go. I think my answer is just gonna be, I'll play whatever if you know, friends want to play it and stuff, because I don't really care too much about like the whole idea. I do think it's stale, but it's like I don't know. I'm not. I don't think there's any use of like trying to burn energy to try to like, you know, figure out how they're gonna fix Black Ops 6 in that matter. Or not fix, but bring interest to that game in that matter. But when it comes to Black Ops 7, yeah, so I saw the teaser. I got to see it before I got on the podcast, and my thoughts are, yeah, pretty much, you know, what I thought earlier, which is this is way too. I think this is also what a lot of people share as well. It's way too soon for a new Call of Duty. Um, you know, most people don't really care about most of the things that are being shown in the teaser, like all the tank things and stuff. I think the designs look cool. I give them that. Like, I think those like are cool, like the mechanically cool looking designs, but I just don't think they're like none of them scream out to me like as if, oh yeah, I need to buy this game. No, they all just kind of look like, oh, that's a cool design to look at, but I don't really care about playing a game that has you in one of those cool looking tanks. It's not really like especially not in a Call of Duty game. And to add, I think the only thing that people were interested in is that last part of the teaser where they showed Transit Remastered, right? Epic.
Yeah, well, presumably Transit Remastered.
I didn't really care about most of the stuff in the reveal. I already knew, like, you know, it's way too early. They're just looking to squeeze money out of people. And I remember Ryan, you said before that you just get it on Game Pass, right? For the
Yeah,
Transit
'cause
Remastered.
it only seems like something that I'd like. I'm paying for Game Pass anyway, so like I wouldn't
Yeah.
buy the game myself because like Ubisoft, not Ubisoft. Sorry, that was another game company. Activision. Sorry, I keep forgetting mixing up companies. My bad.
Fine.
Yeah, they're both pretty bad.
Activision keeps putting out these games that are just subpar and like they're not like the best they could do. And
Oh, yeah.
like I'll play them for a bit, and then they won't even be fun anymore because I mostly play them for the zombies.
I mean, it's kind of crazy how like I went back to play Call of Duty 1, which is Call of Duty Finest Hour. And
Classic.
I acquired a GameCube copy of the game, which I was playing on my TV. And it was yeah, it was absolute cinema. It's pretty nice. Like the kind of the feel, the storytelling, like crazy how like newer games they have more graphical quality, but they can't even get the feel right anymore. Like can't get that. Like I don't know why.
I think they did well with like say for example MW 2019. Like the feel felt pretty decent when I was
Yeah,
playing it at least.
yeah. Like MW 2019's campaign was good. MW 2022's was okay, I guess. Like I gave it like a 7, but MW3 2023, oh hell no. That campaign was
Oh,
I
I
didn't
got
even
you.
play it, to be
Where's
honest with you. The reason why is because I was first of all spoiled for it, and second of all, I heard about a lot of the reviews, And around that time I was also really really busy, so I didn't have a chance to really like sit down and just play it through just to like get my own opinion on it. But holy hell, I heard it was doo doo. Like I heard it was so bad
Oh,
that you had like most of the games industry just straight up saying just don't play this campaign. It's a waste of your time.
I uh I
Dude,
recently
was that
played
the
through
one
it.
that took longer to install than to play?
You probably,
Probably.
to be honest with you.
I
Yeah,
uh I recently got a chance to play through it because I had like a month of Game Pass Ultimate because I bought a VR headset
yeah,
and oh my god, I put it on veteran. Normally it takes like I think like 4 hours to beat that campaign, which is short enough.
yep.
If you play it on veteran and you're bad like me, it took like 8 hours, and it was the most gruesome 8 hours I've played in a while. It was very seriously. Why were they thinking like like open world missions, and then the writing was pretty awful and the pacing was off?
Yeah,
I don't know what they were thinking. It was evident that this was supposed to be like a DLC to MW 2022, and
yeah,
Activision like forcefully made it into like a full game.
yeah, and I agree about that too. Like I think the thing is Activision knew that there was a huge market, and so like what they did is MW 2019 they had the movement system that they made, right? It was like a pretty
Mhm.
fast paced movement system. In MW2 2022, they slowed it down a bit, and they kind of like it made the game was slower paced and everything.
I
And then in
didn't mind
MW,
that honestly.
yeah,
I also
like
found they ruined the feel of the gun
some
more.
people like that,
They
but I
did.
didn't because I didn't like the movement system and I didn't like the gun. Well, actually, I didn't like the movement system, the gunplay, or the what's it called? The the maps. The maps were the biggest problem for me in
Oh,
MW
the maps
2
are
2022.
awful.
And then MW 3
Mm.
2023, I liked the movement again, and the gunplay was better. That's my opinion. I like the
I
gunplay, the
think with
movement, the war zone. But the maps, some of them were okay. I guess.
I don't I think with MW 2023, right? They struck a good balance between like fast-paced movement and like the like older, slower movement.
Yeah.
I genuinely enjoy the multiplayer on that.
MW3 2023, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you. And to be honest, like I kind of sometimes I kind of feel like I want to boot that up and play that instead of BO6. Um,
I want to
I
buy it
definitely
so I can actually. I want to buy so I can actually grind Interstellar. That's how much I want to play it. I'm like,
Midway 3 2023.
yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't actually get Interstellar.
yeah, I don't know. Like honestly, that was one of those games where like I took the poison of buying the game, but then I was like, you know
Hmm.
what, this isn't too bad. As long as you just don't care about that campaign and you like enjoy the multiplayer. I mean,
Hmm.
I relatively enjoyed Warzone for the most part, so I was fine with that. Again, it's like
Hmm.
yeah, that game was probably like still kind of okay, but man, like I will say one thing. MW3 2023's multiplayer was definitely like the most accessible, one of the more accessible ones. BO6 in
Hmm.
comparison is like so much harder, and that's the reason why
It,
like I think a lot of people got pushed away from it, and like not to mention the fact that I also just kind of like I'm not able to integrate with it as much. So I'm just like it's fine, I guess, but I'd rather go back to MW3 2023. Yeah, that's correct though.
What
I
makes you
do feel
think
that.
Black Ops 6 is harder?
I think it's the fact that you have like more movement like what's it called, abilities and stuff. Like
I think
you
it's
could
just
like
a lot.
run backwards, you could dive backwards, you could like I think you could like slide backwards as well. There's like a couple other movement things you could do. I'm pretty sure. Like,
You think the Omni movement made the game harder?
well, I have to say it. I can't. I'm not gonna lie about that. I think it does make it harder. Yeah, because there's a because the thing is, yes, omni movement is like cooler in terms of like gives you more options, right? But at the same time, you look at it like if you look at it this way, if there's this many options, it's gonna add this many more things that you could do with it that you have to do a lot of practice with and trade with and get better with, right? So I think that for that reason in a general sense, it does make it harder in terms of like, you know, if you're a casual player.
Definitely.
Sure, if you're like someone who learns really quickly, maybe it won't really be that much harder to you. But I think the casual, like the average player, the average Joe that hops into the game, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, this is cool. I get to use this Omni movement stuff, so they use it. You know, they get used to some stuff, but then you know they go against someone who's like mastered it, right? Who like knows all the different things about like the, you know, they've just practiced and got better, or they're just talented, right? One of the two, and they're gonna basically be like, holy hell, I cannot match that type of, you know, I can't match that energy. That's crazy. And I'm talking about really a casual player, right? But yeah, I think essentially it does make it harder for like the casual player to keep up, because it creates another boundary, and then that boundary creates a bit of a skill cliff, um, because that's just what happens, right? Like when you have more and more factors, they're more reliably going to make a skill cliff at some point. That's kind of what I think, at least in this case. But you can feel free to disagree. Um, so yeah. Anything else Call of Duty related you guys want to touch on before we get to our first major topic?
I hope its Transit remasters real. It
Oh
looked
yeah,
like it at the end of
I
the.
hope they don't fuck with the feel of zombies too much. Go back to more Cold War. Let's
yeah.
You know, it's gonna be like, it's gonna be like how it is right now. I wish
I mean,
so.
I've been fine with Cold War and BO6 zombies somewhat. Like I don't know. I guess I'm not the right person to ask. I'm like very much a casual zombies player. I don't really look at it in the in depth way that some other people might. So I don't have the opinion of like someone who's, you know, played through, done all the Easter eggs, or has like a severe appreciation for a different zombies style, which I'm not against. I just don't like I just can't relate. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, no, like I think as long as they don't fuck up the zombies too bad, should be all right. Um, all right. Are we ready to go to the next topic?
Yeah, I think I said all I could about Call of Duty today.
Yeah, and to be honest, like yeah, for a small topic, okay, we got a little more than about 10 minutes on or something. I don't know. Well, I'll check later. Anyways, so the first topic, it's the first major topic for today. So everyone probably knows by now, but in case you don't know, Marathon has been delayed indefinitely. So this game, Marathon from Bungie, that's being worked on, had some issues earlier. I'm just gonna say it right now so that we don't have to worry about saying it later. Is they had some issues with some art that they pulled off of another person without their permission. They got caught and they got in trouble for it and whatnot. Long story short, that's something we don't want to see, but hopefully they'll learn from it, which we'll find out, I guess. Um,
They fucking won't. They won't. I'll
yeah,
explain more
I
later.
think yeah, but I think for the main for the main portion though, like we're not going to talk too much about that because everyone knows about it. It's been beaten to death, that topic specifically. So our main focus is really on what's going to happen next. So my interpretation is they've delayed the game for indefinitely so that they can just keep focusing on it. I heard earlier that they delayed it only for a year or so, because I heard someone say, "Oh, they're releasing it in Q3 2026," and I'm like, "Yeah, no, I mean that's a really long time, right?" Them saying indefinite might actually be better in this case, because then they can just keep working on it and maybe they'll push it out before, you know, um, before like Q2 2026, which would be probably the best for them. So then they at least have some sort of like, you know, base of players that are anticipated that still get satiated, and you know they also can have their time. Like basically, they'll be able to have their cake and eat it too, if that's the case. But there is no cake unless they fix some of the major problems with the game. And one of the biggest ones, from what I understand so far, is people just don't find this game that fun. That's what I understand. Like for what I've seen from people, they're saying like they feel like they're playing like a kind of like a just a cheap futuristic version of like Tarkov because it's a extraction shooter, right? And then like what was that one game? There's a game that came out recently. It was like Arc Raiders. Yeah, like
Upgrades, yeah.
that game does similar concept of like extraction shooter type of thing
That
as
game
like
makes me
Marathon.
sad.
Wait, what's wrong?
So Arc Raider wasn't originally an extraction shooter. It was actually a PvE looter shooter.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
pretty much it. I'm disappointed by that game.
Yeah, I will say like as much as people like yeah, some people are disappointed and such with that game. That game probably has its own list of things people don't like and whatnot. But one
That's a
thing I will
topic
give
for
that
another
game is
day.
that yeah, but one thing I will give that game over Marathon is that at the very least it looks like it's more enjoyable than Marathon and it's more polished than
Oh
the
yeah.
things that they showed us so far.
That game has some like old dice devs working on it. There's a couple dice devs at Embark Studios, and
Yeah.
oh my goodness, they know how to make a game. Oh,
Yeah. So
I also
I will say for now that we're expecting uh the marathon release to be definitely something of a train wreck if it came out recently. Like we were expecting like a September release that would have been a full train wreck, but I think they definitely have taken it off the rails, so they have a chance, right? And again, it's not a very big chance. I think they've pissed off enough the community with the earlier stuff, and they still have to prove that there's something that the community is actually going to look forward to seeing in the game. So what I think is like number one, what I would do if I was in the hot seat for a marathon, number one thing I would do is start adding more cool looking armor and tech and things like that that actually like you if you've got the Bungie people who've worked on Halo before and Destiny, you should have the capability to make some cool looking armor designs and things like that because people like yeah sure most people will care about like character design stuff, but I also think like armor design and things like that on the character could affect greatly like as to why people would want to get something like that. um I would do that. I would make sure that there is a really large variety of, and when I say really large, I really mean like a good variety that's a balance between having a good quantity of guns, but that are of a decent quality. So around 15 to 20, unique types of guns, and maybe like two or three subtypes each, right? That kind of like reflect different like modification options and things like that for those guns. Um,
Mhm.
and then I think the other thing I would do is I would reevaluate the color scheme of the game. So I think that the color scheme that they went with is a bit over like it's a very bright color scheme. And it kind of like uh for a lot of people, and again I'm not saying this for everyone. Some people love that color scheme. They love looking at that like strong greens and stuff like that. But for a lot of other people, that bit of color difference is enough that someone will end up not wanting to play the game because it hurts their eyes, right? Like just to put simply, it's not the most desirable to want a game where it's of different colors that people are not wanting to see like flashed on their face 24/7. This is also an issue I think Borderlands is kind of going with as well, but that one's slightly different. But like yeah, like color is a big deal in this industry. I think like in terms of like just the bright colors on the screen kind of thing. Um, I mean, of course, yeah, and I think one of the more really obvious ones, the things I would do is make sure that artwork the artwork is being vetted. Make sure that we're putting out top quality. We make sure that everything gets put out like in top quality, evaluated, tested, and just make sure everything, like, make sure all the bases are covered on that front. That's for sure. And then of course gameplay. Like, you need to work on a lot more gameplay incentives. Anything, even like having like a much better treadmill for people to go through, even if the game's grindy, will incentivize people to actually want to try and play it, or continue with the game. Again, that's just my kind of 2 cents. I don't know if what I said would make the game like that much better, but I think it would probably help a lot. And that's just my opinion. What do you think, Epic?
It's a big fucking with Bungie, honestly.
Sorry.
I have a lot of things to say about them.
Yeah, go on.
So I'm gonna walk back a little bit about the art thing.
Yeah,
This is not the first time Bungie has been caught stealing art. This is not the second
Correct.
time. This is not the third. This is
Yep.
like either the fourth or the fifth time. So I don't know what's going on with the management over at Bungie, but it's evidently good. And frankly, it is incredibly baffling how often or how many times they got away with stolen art, basically.
yeah,
If it was a different company, they would this would be like be held to like a different standard. But apparently at Bungie, do it like it feels like once a year and get away with it.
yeah, and I think that accountability part is really the big problem with that.
It's it just seems like the what do you call it, the leads at Bungie just don't care. It's incredible, to be honest.
Yeah.
According to some of the like lowers, like staff, team, it's like they don't listen at all to the community. They don't listen at all to like the lower staff who get the info from the community
Yep.
about their products and whatnot. It's been revealed like, yeah, the devs actually do, the lower devs actually do listen. The management does, and it's frankly it is baffling how long it's been kept up. Not only that, Bungie has done so many layoffs in like the past couple of years. It's what is it? The fans of Bungie of like, oh, which layoffs? The ones just happened recently? No, the ones like that happened just like today. It's like, how many times are they gonna lay off people? Which management person up there like needs like a new car or whatever that they need to lay off like 200 people like every like 3 months? It's kind of annoying, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like you have talent coming in and out, and then it gets messy and like call it, and then like your game will come out like very well. Like obviously with like Marathon, they probably like hired some intern. You thought, oh, this is probably official art for Marathon. No, it's some person, some poor artist like on social media got their art stolen. Who was, by the way, a big fan of the game. That's why they made that art style in the first place. Because they were a big fan of the original Marathon.
Yeah.
So, not only are you disrespecting the people who love or loved your work, right? You're kind of like spitting in their face, like, forget you, like, please. It's like, we're going to use you for our benefit. And then not only that, Bungie, the way they monetize their game, very awful, very very awful. I'm not gonna talk about Destiny today, but just know if Destiny is the framework for how they're gonna monetize, like say Marathon, because Marathon's supposed to think free to play.
Yeah.
That game's monetization is gonna be absolutely foul.
Yeah. Oh God, man. Destiny. I don't even want to think about Destiny, man. The fact that
Yeah.
that game literally had DLCs deleted from the game just because, oh, but we have new DLCs, so you need space. So let's delete the DLCs for you.
The-
Like,
Apparently,
nerf.
the way their game is coded is awful. It's the Tiger engine, which is we all know it's probably still has code all the way back from the Blam engine
Oh
for
my
the
God.
original Halo games,
Oh my
as
God.
some people know. That's why the game's networking's awful. It's probably got some ancient legacy code, and by
Oh my
probably I
God,
mean
that
I
reminds me.
guarantee
I remember trying to get into servers with people and it would just like not work and things like that. What
it's
a
the
mess.
worst I've ever seen.
Bro, that's another thing I'll add to my list of things Marathon would have to fix. Server net code and
Yes.
stuff like that.
I don't know if Marathon is based off a new engine. I don't think it is, because knowing Bungie, they would probably stick with what they work with. So they're probably using like a new basis for the Tiger engine. That's my guess. I don't actually know. I'm just spewing shit, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like, even if they're using the Titan engine, like, you know, I mean, to be honest, I was about to mention, like, Skyrim still uses the fucking creation engine. The creation engine is, like, literally a part of the Embero engine that has been there for ages. So it's like, I don't know, man. All I gotta say is, you know, they could do things like this where they want to, like, you know, run things in the engine that are, you know, quite old. Sometimes
Yeah.
I will say that, you know, them having a homebrew engine where they work on it is still better than pulling the trigger and just going to Unreal Engine 5.
Or
The reason why
yeah.
the reason why I say that, and here's the thing, I will say this, and I know some people really hate UE5. I get it, okay? My opinion is this. UE5 is an excellent game engine. The problem is developers seem to want to cut corners and use all the default settings with UE5 and build on that. And the way how they build on it always ends up in disastrous performance, and not only that, but, you know, features sometimes outright not working, and the game looking similar to other UE5 games because they didn't change much, right? They didn't
Yeah,
actually try to make a visual structure that looked different to another UE5 game. So that's the reason why out there you'll actually hear the term a UE5 slop. It
I
is a
was gonna
real,
say that.
yeah, it's a real term now because people are getting sick of seeing these cheap UE5 games, and that's why people and Unreal Engine and Epic Games are taking a hit from it because, well, people are misusing their engine. In my opinion, that's my opinion. I think that they're misusing the engine. I think they don't know how to make it look visually unique with the engine, and the reason why is because, well, they're trying to cut corners. And yeah, and the other problem is if they use Unity. Look, I know I know someone that works not on Unity but in the Unity team and things like that. I There are some Unity games that are okay, but I I'm just gonna say it outright. I don't think I like Unity as a game engine. I think it needs so much work, and optimization wise, it just needs a mountain of, like, it's got a pile of work to go through before it really can become a competitor to UE5. It Like, in my opinion, people try to make it a competitor to UE5, and I disagree so vehemently. I think that Unity is like uh, 5 meters off the ground, and like Unreal Engine 5 is like at least like 200 meters off the ground kind of difference. Like, the
Yeah.
reason why I say that is not to be rude to Unity. Like, I don't think it's that they're really bad. It's more just that, I mean, it's number one, the lack of experience. Like, it's not the same. Like, Unity's been here for less time, right? I'm pretty sure that's the case. Um, the Unreal Engine, while it's been kind of rebuilt over time, like with Unreal Engine 5, it's made from a company that has had a long experience of making game engines. Hence Epic Games, because Epic Games originally made Unreal, right? So Unreal Tournament.
Games, Digital, and Digital Extreme. People who make a
Yeah.
Warframe today. It's like amazing to
Yeah.
see where they've been.
Yeah. Um so yeah, I'll put it this way. Like I personally think like yeah, if Marathon said they were going with UE5, like that would have probably been really really bad for them. But I think that them using their Titan engine's probably okay right now. Like I think like it's not good that they're probably still gonna have the same engine, but you know what, whatever. I guess like my other complaints would fix the engine anyways. I mean not engine, sorry. Would at least warp the engine to a point where it would feel comfortable with the game itself, and as long as it as a complete package it all works, I don't have that much of a problem, right? As Todd Howard once says, it just works, right? The creation engine had gotten its like, you know, freaking 30-second makeover, but it will still like do most of the jobs that people want. Like look at Oblivion Remastered, right? Like that's still the creation engine, isn't it? Right? Unless
Apparently the rendering engine is something else. I think the actual like physics like I don't know how to put the actual like underneath it besides the rendering engine is
yeah,
creation still.
yeah.
Just so, because they literally said this because they wanted the game to fill this.
Yeah. So for the long story short, like I think that's fine because people loved Oblivion Remastered. It works to a general extent. I know there's some bugs, but like this is kind of what I'm kind of going with is that I'm not as bothered if they want to pick their homebrew engine and it's still like based off
Mm-hmm.
of code from a while ago and could be broken or could have bugs. But it's like you know what? I'll take that and a game that's half decent or not just decent but like good like Oblivion Remastered, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over a game that has going into UE5. We'll get to Halo in a bit, and then it's just being an utter like just utter disappointment in terms of just how
Mm-hmm.
it comes out. Um, so yeah, like, do you have anything else on
Well,
Bungie or
I was saying,
anything?
I was gonna say with the game engines and like I at some point it's got to be what's the term I'm looking for? It's like development or like code depth or whatever. Like where it's like at some point it's not worth to maintain like such old code anymore. You kind of just have to like start anew or start fresh. I know people were asking with Destiny like they should just get a Destiny 3 like a clean slate, and
Yeah,
I was like "Yeah, that's honestly fine. I guess they could just use the same engine again. I don't really care honestly.
yeah,
It's just that Destiny 2 as its current state is very bloated, and it kind of just if honestly if they want to just keep it as it is and then move on to like a second project, that's back to the main point. With game, especially with Bungie, I see this all the time with Bungie fans. They're very apologetic, and apparently they all know how game development works.
yeah,
They're it's kind of interesting to see. I generally some people need to realize like your favorite game developer, um, stop defending them. They're still like a company. You gotta remember like they're kind of doing because they want.
yeah.
It's like please dude, what do you call it? Just stop for defending them like they're going to like come down to your room and give you like early access to like Destiny 3 so you can pre-order it.
Yeah, and I mean Bungie, like in my opinion, like again, this is I know a lot of people's opinions, but Bungie really hasn't been doing that well ever since they stopped working ever since they finished working on like Halo Reach, and then
Yeah.
I think like Destiny 1 was still kind of respected from what I heard, like people liked Destiny 1 in a general sense, but yeah,
Yeah.
Destiny 2 definitely like started dropping off. Like it started kind of hemorrhaging kind of the main player base after a bit, and that's the
There's
reason why they made it free to play, right? So
actually, as of recent of this year, like the last, like past year as well, like 24 year right now, it's 5. It's been pretty much hemorrhaging players as well. It's just a lot of the decisions they're making in the game are decisions they make overall.
Yeah.
what people want.
Yep.
If I'm playing a game's worth of money for a DLC, I want a game's worth of DLC.
Okay,
Yeah.
you need to sit down. You play gacha games.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm done
So
insulting today. I'm sorry.
yeah. So yeah. So we're really gonna see what they end up actually doing. So in their post, they said that they're gonna work on upping their survival game and more engaging and challenging AI encounters, more rewarding runs, combat more tense and strategic. Okay, fine. Doubling down the marathon universe, increasing visual fidelity, um, more narrative and environmental storytelling. Okay, fine. Darker tone that it delivers on the themes. Okay, darker tone. I like hearing that because that means they're gonna tone down those super bright colors and make it a little bit better. Social experiences, better experiences. Proximity chat, so social stories can come to life. So it looks like they've caved in about the proximity chat because I remember people saying that they're not going to add proximity chat because they're worried about people being mean when they're in on proximity chat. But this is a game for adults. There will be meanies because it is a mature game, so mature people are
Is it
expected
actually
to play
rated
it.
mature?
Wait, it's not? Oh, it's rated teen.
I don't. Yeah,
Maybe
Bungie.
okay. You know what?
Bungie-
I take that back. I don't.
The only Bungie game that was rated M17 or like Peggy 18 was I think it was Halo 2. And the only reason why is
No, Halo
because
3 was mature as well, and so was Reach.
Is it? Because
Yes.
I'm double checking on that.
I know
but
that
I'm fairly
because I
certain.
remember when I was young, I couldn't get Halo Reach. I had to get somebody else to go and buy it.
That was rated teen.
I'm not gonna.
No worries.
Nope, Halo Reach is rated 16, and Peggy.
Yeah, but what about?
Oh wait, I think that's Peggy. That's Peggy. Okay, wait.
Sorry, I
So
don't
Peggy,
use
I
the
think,
Peggy one. I
16.
use the it's called
Oh yeah, Halo Reach is rated M. Huh.
yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was like every single Bungie game except 2 was rated. What do you call it? What is it?
I don't think there's a single Halo game that's rated teen. Even Halo Wars is rated mature. Wait. I don't know. I don't remember that one.
What is it? I must have wrote that in my head canon wrong on accident.
That's fine.
I know Destiny 2 is rated. What do you call it? Teen.
Teen? Yeah, Destiny, bro. They should have made it rated mature and actually made some like good storytelling. That would have been better. Anyway, yeah. Some of these priorities for Marathon don't sound that bad, but yeah. So they're saying that they'll have a new release date in the fall. And we'll hear about it then. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what your team does. Good luck, Marathon team. I don't wish you that bad. I just hope that you learned from your lessons and put out a game that we actually end up enjoying. I don't know if that's ever really gonna be possible, just because like just so many like it's so like transcendently like we've transcended that kind of like gaming apparatus. At least a lot of us in the group in G4 have just kind of like went to playing other kind of types of games, not really just like yeah, we do play looter shooters, but we play single player modes and stuff on them for the most part. So yeah, exactly. Like we're not really in that stage. But you know what? If it does become interesting, yeah, maybe it will propagate some interest in the group, and you might see some people excited to see Marathon come out and play it. So yeah, I'm just gonna yeah, so sorry, I was just gonna say like I was checking some articles on things, and yeah, like it's mostly about the art thing, the art plagiarism stuff that's really hit them the hardest in the news. But in the sales, what's gonna hit them the hardest is if their game's not fun. Because if their game's not fun, you won't even have like here's okay. Let me put it this way, right? The bounce back for a game is possible, but like look at No Man's Sky. That was the biggest bounce back in gaming history ever. It literally went from one of the worst game releases to like being an actually good decent game with lots of content, and it's actually a good game now. And the thing is that it took quite a bit for it to get there, right? So for something like Marathon, if it has a bad release, like it hasn't even released and it's just getting bad press. So like they have to probably try and release in a way where they can avoid as much bad press, try and turn the situation around so people actually will be interested in playing the game. Because again, like when bad news for a game like that comes along, it's almost always just gonna kill the game from the start before it really gets anywhere, right? Like for example, like Concord, right? As soon as Concord came out, it got so little like support that they just pulled the plug on the game. They're like, fuck this. Why are we spending our money running servers for a game that no one's playing, right? Like essentially I can't blame the company, but like for pulling the plug. But I guess the long story short is, you can't expect a story like No Man's Sky, unless you could buy your way out of it a little bit, like how Fallout 76 almost did. Because I think Fallout 76 is now a little bit more liked than it was during release, but
Yeah, they got rid of a lot of the major complaints.
yeah. So
Good.
like yeah, if you're big like Bethesda, you could kind of buy your way out of it. But even then, like, Bungie's supposed to be big, and they're like, all I'm gonna say is this: I really don't want to say this in terms of like I hope this doesn't have to happen, but it will be a lesson that they'll have to learn if it does, which is if Marathon's release is a disaster to the point where they're hemorrhaging money to a large amount, they will have to shut down their studio, and it's gonna suck because I don't like that idea of having to shut down this studio specifically. You know, I think that they should be able to try and turn things around. And again, it's not a No Man's Sky story because you don't even have a release here. But the fact that even before release you're getting this much bad press, like you really want to try and focus on turning things around. Again, I'm not saying I know the future. Maybe somehow they turn it all around, right? I'm trying to think of some games. It is a little hard for me to like conceptualize those games in the inside of my head that easily. No Man's Sky is really the only one I can think of where, um, you had a lot of bad press, then it turned around. And it was actually like a really good game. And everyone's playing it. And everyone's enjoying it, right? I think I do remember there was something of that type when Doom 2016 was coming out. Because
Mm.
originally they were talking about how the combat was going to be like like sorry what I was going to say is they released the multiplayer and the combat was a lot slower, so people were like, oh wow, I thought the combat was supposed to be fast paced like that multiplayer trailer, blah blah blah. And people, and there was like a little dip in interest where people were like, oh no, if the combat's like this then it's cooked. um and then the game comes out, and lo and behold, the combat's exactly like how it was in the trailer. It was actually fast paced. It was actually good, and that multiplayer combat's only for the multiplayer because I mean, it should be self-explanatory. Multiplayer is gonna have a different TTK because it probably. I mean, I don't know if it's a like a or not TTK, but also movement. Uh, like it's just limitations to make it more balanced, I guess, in a general sense. Because it balances for types of players who don't want to move like how they move the campaign. I think there's probably a good amount of people that believe that. So yeah, anything else on the marathon delay?
I'm just thinking,
Oh,
what do you
Bungie?
call it? If this doesn't succeed, well, Bungie apparently hasn't been profitable for quite a while. This is some old information. I'm not sure if it's the case, but
Yeah,
if Marathon probably isn't profitable or like worth developing for, honestly, Bungie may be shutting down say the
yeah,
next 5 years, which is which would be unfortunate because I mean another like studio with great potential has been shut down again, right? And
Yeah,
then as of recent, even like there's been quite a few studio shutdowns, like with the Microsoft shutdown as well.
yeah. So yeah, I just think like and we're gonna get to the Microsoft thing. That's the next subject. I just think that when it comes to Bungie, they need to lock in. Like, this is the thing. Again, I don't like that it has to come to this. That we are telling Bungie like make a good game or else. But this is the job that you selected. This is the line of work that exists here, and like you did with gaming, like with game production. Like, you have to put out a game that is going to generate sales, right? Otherwise, I'm sorry to say this, but otherwise you have to find employment in a different method in the gaming industry. You have to find it in a non corporate, maybe a small team or something. Again, some people do that. They do games in a small team, and they do better with that way, right? So, I will say that that's again up for them to decide. It's just that, like, what will happen, like the inevitable will happen if they don't heed the warnings. They'll bring them there. So, um, excuse me. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about Marathon though and Bungie. Um, you guys ready to move on to the next topic?
Yeah, I am.
Chris, you got anything to say? I don't even know if he's here. He might be doing something. And I guess Ryan doesn't have anything to say.
No, not really.
Yeah. All right. So, our next topic is about Microsoft. They have been shutting down multiple studios, laying off like over 9,000 employees. No pun intended. Um, it is kind of crazy what type of moves that are happening now. I will say this: there are definitely going to be some game studios that are getting shut down that I think need to take it as a valuable learning lesson, even though it sucks. Again, I don't enjoy people losing their jobs, but when you're in a market that's this competitive, you know, it's if you're it's either you work for your like, again, I know it's like a corporate thing, but like, you still need to attract customers for a game. And if you fail to attract customers for a game, then maybe you need to work on a game that isn't meant to attract a large amount of customers, rather a niche or something like those small games that people make, like in the indie studio kind of thing. Um, so I think it would be I think some studios will have to face that cold hard truth, because that's what's happening. Is the games aren't getting sold. Some of them have made good games, like games that are fun for a lot of people, but if they don't sell well, then something down that pipeline has gone wrong, and they haven't really like looked at it properly. Like Hi-Fi Rush, right? Like, it's a well respected
Mm-hmm.
game, it's a well rated game, people like it. It's, from what I hear, it's a good game, but the studio didn't do enough to actually get it out there and get enough sales, at least as far as I understand. Like, the marketing on it was pretty bleak. I didn't really see much marketing out there for it. Um, and yeah, like there's some of these games that they're kind of just shutting, like games that are being canceled and studios being shut down that I just like expect to see. Um, So like like they're getting rid of Roundhouse Games. They're putting it into the ESO developer ZeniMax. That, again, like it's a big change for them, and people definitely think that one of the worst moves for them was trying to shut down the Hi-Fi Studio. Now, Hi-Fi Rush Studio didn't get shut down entirely. They got bought out by what's that company called?
Craft.
Crafton. Yeah, which Crafton has its own list of controversies right now. Well, I mean, I'll say alleged controversies. I don't know the full story of that, so I will say that there's some people who make claims about like that company's legibility. Some people though believe that they're in the right, and that like that company is not really doing anything malicious the way how they're running things. But I will say that's a later topic if things kind of boil over to the point where it becomes like a topic for us to talk about at least. So yeah, Microsoft also apparently Microsoft Activision started a new game studio, and they called it Elsewhere Entertainment. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye out on. Uh, we'll see. It looks like they really do want to uh focus on like a kind of like a uh storytelling type of game thing. So they really want to focus on those narrative games. Please, please, even if you do narrative games, make sure that the gameplay is fun and promote it properly so that you don't have situations like Hi-Fi Rush. Because, like, again, this is the same thing with Marathon that I was saying earlier. Like, you want to make sure that you grab a proper audience so you have a good amount of marketing on top of a game that not only runs well, but works and is fun. Those two things are really important. So, yeah, so like I mean, there's gonna be a lot of different studios affected and changes. There was a change last year where 343 got turned to Halo Studios, which again, 343, they've had a many of flops. They've had a lot of issues trying to retain and like control, like not control, but like to keep the Halo population like satisfied. They definitely um you know like their biggest W so far really was getting MCC out, and the fact that it works really nice, it runs really nicely on my Steam Deck. But like yeah, like Halo Infinite was kind of like a mediocre take on how they should put out a Halo, because it didn't really like it was okay, didn't really garner that much interest. The multiplayer is probably the only thing I really like can remember off the top of my head in terms of what I like. Because the thing is, like, the campaign, I haven't finished it, but it was a little bit mid, and the multiplayer again is a bit stale, but at least I kind of remember like things I enjoyed about it, and people still kind of play it at a more like pro scale, if anything. So yeah, I wanna see what ends up happening with that, but I do feel like 343 definitely needed to get more lessons learned from the mistakes that they made when they released like Halo 5, Halo 4, right? Especially Halo 5 though. Halo 5, I've I haven't played it myself, but from what I understand, the gameplay is really really mediocre, right?
Oh, yes.
Um, and not only that, but the campaign is just bad because it's really repetitive.
I got to play the Halo 5 campaign. It was probably the worst thing I've played in a while. A while.
Yeah,
I say that as I played MW3.
yeah. W3 2023 is also pretty bad. So in terms of campaign,
I wanted to like Halo 5 Guardians campaign. Pacing was terrible, honestly. I don't even they were
yeah. So yeah, I mean Halo, it's future that we're not really sure about, and I mean I'm sure they'll get the funding and Microsoft will keep it alive because Halo's the face of Microsoft, right? in terms of gaming. Sorry, the face of Xbox is Halo, right? If Halo fails, if they make the mistakes that the Bungie is making, like I don't like I don't know how they're gonna get themselves out of that rut, especially Microsoft, who their face is Halo. So I just don't think they'll want to let go of it that quickly. I don't think they'll have.
Honestly, with soft spot, I Halo has kind of faced Xbox a little bit now. I think closer to like Forza, even Call of Duty.
Yeah, well, it would be funny though to see Halo on PlayStation. I think we're actually
Oh,
gonna see MCC on PlayStation soon.
supposedly yes, we are getting supposing full details, but getting
It'll be really funny.
because
Yeah.
Forza Horizon 5 is
Yep, Forza is now on PlayStation. So and then
arguably the next gen will
Helldivers
be
on
Halo.
Xbox. So
Oh,
yeah,
I was happy to hear that. So
yeah.
that
I thought
Xbox
I
plays
thought it was
only
good
Helldivers.
news. I thought it was good news for sure.
Good
But
news.
yeah, we're starting to see the a little bit of where Sony and Microsoft probably realize like maybe working together is going to work really well for them, and it probably will, but they still have to clean out their those studios that are not really getting them the victories that they're supposed to be getting.
Naughty Dog, please. I don't want you.
So what do you say?
I said Naughty Dog, please. Naughty
So
Dog is last like few releases. They're like few releases. Sorry, I can't.
yeah, no worries.
They haven't produced like a fresh new game in what feels like 8 years. It's only been like Last of Us releases and remakes.
Mhm.
That can't be their entire purpose now, can it? Apparently it is.
I mean, they're doing that space game, but I saw the trailer and it didn't really interest me that much. It
They're
kind of
doing
looked.
it. Oh wait, they're doing a new game. Oh shit.
Yeah, it's called something Heretic. I can't remember, man.
Oh, I have to look it up.
Yeah, it it looks kind of like, I mean, I don't know, like it didn't really show gameplay. It just showed like a trailer of like someone in a ship walking around and then the ship boosting off, and it's like, oh look, it's a ship with a Porsche logo on it. Oh my god. I'm like, I just don't care about that sort of thing. They put whatever logo they want on the ship. They need to put some effort into how it ties in with story. So okay, let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, like, and the other thing is the Halo studio is going out of their way to um what's it called, release basically recode re-release the game um in Unreal Engine 5, which is a huge mistake in my opinion, because unless they modify the Unreal Engine 5 to really feel like the Halo vibe, it's just not necessary. It's like one of the least necessary studio game engine design changes.
I didn't think the Hill Infinite was all that bad. I think it was a good. I guess
Wait, sorry, could you repeat that?
I said I thought the Halo Infinite engine was a good framework.
Yeah,
A good
and I
base
agree. It
to
was the what was it called, Slipstream? Yeah, Slipstream was a good engine. I think it was a good framework. They could have went further with that, but they, you know, decided to.
I, I I just hope if since they really do want to switch to Unreal 5, I do hope they don't fall into the mistake of making UE5 swap, as you were like saying earlier, because that would, I don't know. It's just like it's just gonna be like another game people are gonna write off like, oh, it's just that's Halo, and nah, it's just another UE5 swap game.
Yeah. So yeah,
Also,
so
please, for the love of God, developers, optimize your games.
yes, please
No,
optimize them. I want to
I
see.
should
I
not.
want to see the level of optimization that I saw when I first fucking downloaded Warframe. That was the first time
Those-
where me and my friend said this is like the most optimized game ever. In fact, I will say the term that Tanner said, which is it's optimized up the ass. It's so optimized that it runs so well that you just don't even have to think about it. And I really hope that's gonna be
It's
future of
hard to believe
optimizing
that
games. But
it's hard to believe that game is 10 years old now,
yeah, it really
and
is.
it still looks very pretty. Like
I
in the
think
new
yeah, I
release.
think it looks pretty good. Again, it's could use some touch ups and some things, but it still looks really
They're
really
slowly
good.
working on it. They think they care about the stability of the game first, most, and what do you call it? Trying to make the game look super pretty.
Yeah,
They go as they go slowly, but sure enough, the game does obviously get updated.
yeah.
Unlike
I've
some games where they run like ass.
yeah. I do remember the game being really buggy. Uh,
Oh yes.
yeah, there's definitely a lot of bugs in Warframe. I remember, but yeah, it's been a while
Yeah,
since I've like fully like played the game for like I think it's been like probably half a year or something.
yeah, it's been a little bit.
But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I also wanted to touch on Doom: The Dark Ages, how it ended up actually being a flop this year, and it's kind of sad because it looked cool. I even saw some gameplay and I was kind of interested. I kind of wanted to try it out and whatnot, but unfortunately, it looks like and I'm gonna quote Abdu here. It's like feels like a downgrade from Eternal, and even to an extent, 2016. Yeah, no, that's what I kind of saw. Like when I saw people, showing the game, I kind of felt that as well. It's really and I see that as the main reason why it probably stagnated, and people started getting kind of sick of that style. Um, so yeah, it's like uh, it's really just like that. You got like a game philosophy of Doom Eternal, which is like you gotta like jump and shoot, and you gotta have like you gotta use its movement system properly. Whereas in Doom Dark Ages, from what I understand from Abdu's review, is that you've got like issues of just kind of like not having that movement work that well. Um, slowing the player down and make the space matter a lot more. Um, so yeah, like it's just like trying to get like the depth of Doom Eternal in Doom Dark Ages was like not met, and that's what Abdu said in here as well. Um, again, like yeah, it's not very much different from Doom Eternal under the hood, but it's kind of like give the player the freedom, but if you just deploy the same strategy with a different gun model, like that's what it is. That's what it feels like. Yeah, that's what Abdu said. It makes sense. So again, I personally feel like I don't know if I really really want to play it. I might try it out just because I do like Doom as a game series in general. But yeah, like the fact that it stagnated and whatnot, that's again one of those things that I said is you have to ensure that you get the player base or else your studio is gonna get shut down. And it sucks. I don't know if anyone really got kicked in the ass over that. Maybe people did. And I only say that because like like someone's definitely like they definitely got annoyed. Like Microsoft definitely got annoyed when they saw that this game didn't sell well. Um, but yeah, like That's why you want to try and ensure you've like covered all your bases before releasing a game like this. That's for sure. So yeah, anyone got any other thoughts on Microsoft studios shutting down? A lot of studios from Microsoft shutting down and layoffs and how the games are gonna look in the future.
I just kind of wish Microsoft stuff will, what do you call it, shutting down a studio. It doesn't sell
Just not buying
2,000
studios and then sending them down.
billion
Well,
copies.
I'll say it this way. I think I think some of the studios they shut down, or at least attempted to, and things like that, definitely wrongly done. And some of those studios do not deserve to be shut down. But there are some that I do believe that they've missed the mark on what people want to see in a game. Like, for example, there was a game that was coming out recently. I'm sorry, I didn't actually have the article pulled up for it, so I kind of forgot the name of the game is. But that specific game was going to be coming out soon, and then Microsoft just pulled the plug on the game because it had next to no interest in it. And when I saw the artwork for the game, it looked like such a mediocre idea. It didn't look interesting. There's nothing that was pulling me to want to have to play the game. I honestly cannot remember the name of it right now, but I know that it was like just recently they had chopped the game up before it even came out, and chopped the studio up as well because they were in development hell. And I heard there's at least 2 or 3 other games where they were like in development hell, like no one was actually like working on it properly. Nothing was really getting done, and the studio just got shut down. This is something I've been seeing a lot, and this is the reason why, like, while I do agree there's some studios that are getting shut down that don't deserve it, there's definitely studios that do deserve it. And when I say that, I don't mean like the people deserve to lose their job. That's not the way I interpret it. Rather, the direction that things are going, things are not being done correctly. Money is being wasted. Like, what was it like last time? I think we talked about it. It was what was that game called? The Ubisoft made, Skull and Bones. It was like $600 million. Are you kidding me? Like, this is ridiculous stuff, and this is the reason why I'm like, no, I'm sorry, but there are some times where if you're in a studio, if your job is a part of a studio that's using up $600 million and you're not putting out a game that people actually love, I'm sorry to tell you this, but maybe you should reevaluate your job position. I hate to say it. I don't like it because some people, they feed their families with the work, but you can't use that as an excuse to burn money, quite literally, right? You can't use that as an excuse to make games that no one's buying. And the thing is that when you're in this type of industry, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you need to do. Otherwise, you should just make games as a hobby, right? That's why I think once you go industry, you have to respect the fact that you've got a fan base now. You've got a set of people that you want to try and satiate, and that's just how it is with gaming. There's going to be people who just want to see a game that is in demand, like that they demand for. That's just what it is. And again, as I said, like there are some times where the studio's in the right, like some studios that are doing well, but again, I will say that there's definitely studios in there during Microsoft's slimming of the company that, yes, they did need to have that cold hard lesson. You may disagree with me on that. That's fine, right? Maybe some of them.
Ones that need to be gone, but like
Mhm.
most people don't complain about those ones. They complain when it's like a good studio that either
Yeah,
just produced something or is producing something that was announced last year. That
yeah, and I guess that's fair. That's fair for the studios that we know that are actually putting in the work. Like if we've got like footage or just concepts or just things that prove that they actually put in a lot of work, and that are going well, and then a studio, and then that studio gets shut down. But yeah, like I think most of the ones that I've heard of recently have been ones that 100% failed to deliver on the part of having a player base, really a base of people who actually will buy the game and play it realistically, because that's what needs to happen for them to continue their business. Um, so yeah, any other thoughts?
I think I'm all out of thoughts.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. So I just had a small topic for the end bit here. It's just really it's a continuation of what I've said about the crew and Ubisoft. Um, so again, as I said earlier, I'm not gonna go way too into the Stop Killing Games movement. If you're in the EU, I would say I personally think you should sign it, because it's the pro-consumer movement to try and get video game companies to try and preserve game servers and just like games in general, like that are like discontinued and things like that. Again, I can't go, like I haven't read everything on the movement. I just know from what I've seen online and whatnot about the movement that that's what they're working on. But yeah, like the crew was kind of one of the catalyst games, and for me, that's the focus game of this movement. I really hope that if there is anything that comes out from them going through Parliament and things like that, that we end up getting a domino effect where that the law over there changes, so Ubisoft has to comply with that law, so they kind of make it for everywhere. And that would also, again, if Ubisoft decided to just like give people the server files for the crew, and the other games that they've sunset, they might get a lot more respect for them. But the thing is, the company has been doubling, tripling down on it. They really don't want to let people have that. So, they've definitely have got, like, their reputation was already in the gutter. It's going even lower at this point. Um, but yeah, like if things change though, we will hopefully. I'm hoping that we get some changes that bring the crew back at least to a degree where we could just run our own server or something and just screw around. Um, like me personally, I loved kind of the fact that you had so many options with cars and stuff and customizing. It was like I thought that was cool, but it really sucked when they just pulled the plug on the game, and I can't even try it anywhere. I can't, the game's just gone, right? And I think that was like a really, really, really bad move by Ubisoft. So that's why the Stop Killing Games even happened, and that's the reason why I agree with it. And like again, it's not like this is impossible that it will affect Ubisoft. It's because like Apple, they had a case with the EU where Apple lost it and they couldn't have their Lightning connector, and EU wanted to reduce the waste from them making their Lightning connector and wanted them to go to the proprietary USB-C, which they did comply to, and now Apple is on USB-C because of that. So I'm hoping that the same type of domino effect happens with Stop Killing Games, where from the European laws we get Ubisoft to kind of change course in general for the gaming. Now they might not do that. They might just say, "Screw you. We're only changing it for the EU, and you guys in the US, you can suck it up." But they are also having to deal with other people in the US, and also a whole bunch of other countries doing petitions. The other countries that are doing petitions, I don't know how successful they could be, but I know in the US it's like hard to do something through a petition, so you just kind of have to hope that the other countries' litigations go through. But yeah, like I personally think that the movement is good. Um, that's pretty much all I wanted to touch up on. Is I really hope that it brings difference in terms of those games that have been sunsetted, especially like the crew. The crew is really one of the biggest ones right now that like they shouldn't have been allowed to do that. Like I think it's like really, really a really bad business practice. Um, I know Epic says he doesn't really care about this topic. But so anybody else have anything to say about it, Chris? I don't think.
No, not really.
Yeah. Ryan.
Not
Okay. Yeah. So so that's all I really wanted to say about that. That was pretty short for SKG, but that's good enough. Um.
I'll just
So yeah.
I'll just
Sorry.
add, like, it's not that I like I don't think it's a bad movement. I think it's a inherently good movement. It's just that I don't know, I guess mentally I've been exhausted about like the entire games industry as a whole, so I kind of
Yeah, I don't blame you.
just don't care anymore.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, like even last like podcast episode, we were talking about like tech, right? And then like the one
Mhm.
before that, I think we were talking about tech as well. The one before that, we were talking about tech. So like, you could tell like our video games talk was really our first episode, and like maybe a little bit in the other episodes, but we focused mostly
Mhm.
on tech because the games industry was just down, down, and more and down, down. Like it's just been going downhill. And the thing is, like again, I'm gonna say this as well. Like I remember people saying, like, well, no, but games have been better than ever, and that they'll cite games like you know Elden Ring and Black Myth Wukong and like a couple other games, like Expedition 33. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I don't play any of those games because um, they're not my cup of tea. I'm like me. I'm waiting for where's my 1998 release of Doom type of game in current day, right?
Mhm.
Where's the like big FPS that like revolutionizes everything? Where's my Half Life? Like exactly, where's my Half Life? You know what I mean? Like we want a non VR Half Life. We want like a just a revolutionary kind of series in that matter. That's what we're missing for a lot of the other games. I know that we get it for like Elden Ring with like the Souls like genre and Black Myth Wukong, which is also kind of Souls like ish, whatever. And then we get it for Expedition 33, which is like a turn based. Um, I think there's a couple other games that are definitely like well respected and also really up there. And, like for people, it's revolutionary, game changing and stuff. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that like for some of the other genres, the other game types, like we're just not getting those types of games coming out. So you know, none of us like we're all just kind of stagnated because of that. And I know some people will just be like, no, you just need to enjoy those games. Okay, bro. I'm going to try them at some point, but you can't guarantee that someone's going to enjoy every type of game. That is not possible. Um, there is so many different avenues in gaming, and there's so many different things that people get interested in with video games over time. So that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I find it's mostly the FPS genre that's stagnated more than anything.
Oh yeah, I think FPS is probably the most stagnated genre. If not, I would say also MMOs. I think like we haven't gotten a revolutionary MMO like again. I love Guild Wars too. That is my favorite MMO, but like it's got very little like it's got some stuff that they add through their DLCs that are kind of interesting, but it's like not super like what's it called like revolutionary like we haven't seen that yet, and maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe within the next year we hear about uh you know a new MMO and it like blows people out of the water, right? Like I thought Amazon's MMO, I call it Amazon's MMO. I actually don't even remember if it was the one that was owned by. I think yeah, it was owned by Amazon. Uh,
New World?
but New World, I thought that was gonna be like pretty good, but then I heard stuff like apparently it bricked. Uh, what did it brick? Graphics cards?
I think it was like, yeah, I think it was like GPUs.
Yeah, no, that's terrible. I don't know. I'm not a. I saw New World. I didn't really like see it as like the type of game I want to get into. Um, and from what I heard, it was really repetitive and like yeah, it was just kind of like it was really mediocre. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Again, and then there's also like this case of Payday. They release a Payday 3 and it's like so mediocre and not just mediocre, like it's bad. Like a lot of problems with the game. Tons and tons of problems with the game.
The worst
Um
part is it has a good core. It's it's everything else surrounding it that just sucks so much.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really hope that maybe they can turn that around. And maybe like again, this is the thing. Like the most anticipated game in the world right now is GTA 6. But like I think the GTA burnout, like from GTA Online and just 5M and all that, just kind of like, oh man, GTA. Like honestly, I hate to say it, like this is the reason why I like GTA 4 more than GTA 5, is because the introduction of GTA Online had turned GTA from like you know this cool game series that's like well respected and whatnot to like this game series that's often associated with a brain rot tier of content that comes with the game that just like it's just so oversaturated with mediocre content that you play for online, and it's just there could have been a lot of stuff that they could have done that are interesting, but they just want to sell shark cards, so they made it so it's hard to even do half the stuff that's like more interesting with the multiplayer. Yeah, and it's not that like fun. So like when GTA 6 comes out, well, first of all, it's coming out only on consoles first, so it's probably not going to be like this amazing release. But when I say that, I mean as a PC user, you're just gonna look at it and you're like, okay, it's out on consoles. But then you'll get it like a year later, which makes your release experience not as good. That's what I mean by that. Not an amazing release. It's gonna be an amazing release for console. They're gonna love it. I hope so, because I don't wish them bad. But yeah, I could definitely tell though that there's a lot of people who would have been interested in GTA 6, but are thinking like, oh, it's just gonna be more like GTA 5. It's gonna be like that brain rot tier of overwhelming stuff. Whereas I think that complete package for GTA 4, where they boxed it up and gave you this gritty GTA game that has an amazing story. I think that's what I want to see more of, more or less. But you know what? We'll see. Maybe I'll change my tune. Maybe when they finally release GTA 6 on PC, I'll be sitting here and I'll be saying, no, I was completely wrong. They've turned everything around. They've made everything really interesting and really cool. I just highly doubt it, right? Like, honestly, like I'd have to make some sort of crazy bet to think like one day me and like some others in this group, and at least the core people in this group who are usually here playing FPSs, to sit down and play some FPS mode of GTA 6. It's like I just really, 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 really doubt that's gonna happen. Anyway, we'll see what happens. All right. Anything else you guys want to add?
That's all I have.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope you guys liked that episode. We're gonna try and see if we can get the next episode within a month. I know it's been very many months, so we apologize for the wait. It's mostly because I've been really busy. I've had a lot of other projects going on, but we're gonna try and get more of like at least 1 or 2 months episode out, right? Depending on what topics are up. Again, sometimes topics change. As we said, gaming stagnating, so it's not going to be guaranteed. But of course, we'll see you the next time that we end up having an episode out, which will maybe be within a month or two. So yeah, take care.